Have you ever looked around and felt like you no longer belong? Like everyone around you is speaking a language you don't understand anymore? Conversations that once felt normal now seem empty. People you used to connect with now feel distant. And the world, as a whole, feels strange. Almost like a dream you just woke up from. You're not going crazy. You're awakening. Spiritual awakening is not just about inner peace or higher consciousness. It's a shift so deep that it changes the way you see everything. Your relationships, society, even your own identity. And one of the biggest challenges of awakening is that it makes you feel like an outsider in a world you once felt at home in. But why does this happen? And how do you navigate this feeling of disconnection? Before awakening, life made sense. You played by society's rules, followed the crowd, and didn't question much. You had a role to play, and it felt natural. But after awakening, the illusion starts to crack. You begin to see through the conditioning, the societal programming, and the endless distractions that keep people asleep. Suddenly, everything that once felt normal now feels artificial. Conversations about work stress, celebrity gossip, or weekend plans used to be easy. But now, they feel pointless. You crave deeper conversations, ones about truth, meaning, and the nature of existence. But most people aren't interested in those topics. They're still engaged in the same patterns, the same unconscious routines, while you've stepped outside of them. And that's where the disconnection begins. You try to go back, to fit in again, but it doesn't work. The old world doesn't feel real anymore. The people around you haven't changed, but you have. And that makes all the difference. One of the first signs of feeling like an outsider after awakening is the struggle with small talk. Before, you could easily chat about everyday things, your favorite TV shows, the latest trends, or social media drama. But now, these topics feel empty, almost absurd. It's not that you look down on others for enjoying these things. It's just that you see beyond them. You realize how much of life is built on surface-level distractions, keeping people busy but unfulfilled. You now crave conversations that explore deeper truths. Why are we here? What is consciousness? What happens after death? But when you try to bring up these topics, most people either get uncomfortable or change the subject. So, you begin to withdraw. Not because you want to be alone, but because meaningless conversations drain you. And as you pull away, the loneliness sets in. Another reason awakening makes you feel like an outsider is that you begin to see the world for what it truly is. Before, you accepted society's rules without question. You followed the scripts. Get a job, chase success, buy things to feel happy. But now, you see the deeper game being played. You see how fear and division are used to control people, how consumerism keeps people trapped in an endless cycle of wanting more, how social media keeps people distracted from their own inner truth. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, and it becomes impossible to engage with the world in the same way. But here's the problem. You're surrounded by people who don't see it. When you try to explain these realizations, they either dismiss you, think you're overanalyzing, or even call you crazy. This can be incredibly frustrating, making you feel even more disconnected. You wonder, why can't they see what I see? But the truth is, awakening happens on its own timeline. You can't force someone to wake up. One of the hardest parts of spiritual awakening is realizing that some of your old friendships no longer align with you. People you once laughed with, shared moments with, and felt close to may now feel like strangers. It's not that anything dramatic happens. It's just that the connection fades. The conversations don't flow like they used to. The shared interests disappear. At first, this is painful. You may try to hold on, trying to reconnect with the people from your past. But deep down, you know things have changed. And eventually, some friendships naturally fall away. But here's the good news. Awakening also brings new connections. As you evolve, you start attracting people who do see the world the way you do. People who understand your perspective without you having to explain it. These are the ones who feel like soul family. The loneliness doesn't last forever. But before you find these connections, you have to go through the phase of letting go. Almost everyone who goes through a deep awakening experiences a period of loneliness. There's a phase where you feel completely disconnected from the world, like you're floating in between realities. You don't belong to the old world anymore, but you haven't fully stepped into the new one yet. This phase can feel isolating, even depressing. You may start questioning everything. Did awakening ruin my life? Will I always feel this alone? But this loneliness isn't a punishment. It's a transition. It's life pulling you away from the noise so you can listen to your own truth. And as painful as it is, it's necessary. Because once you embrace solitude, something powerful happens. You stop needing the world to understand you. You stop looking for validation. You become comfortable in your own presence. And that's when true freedom begins. Yes, awakening makes you feel like an outsider. But ask yourself this: would you really want to go back? Would you trade your freedom just to fit in again? Most people live their whole lives inside an illusion. They follow the rules without questioning them. They seek happiness in things that never truly fulfill them. They chase distractions to avoid facing themselves. But you broke free from that cycle. Being an outsider isn't a curse. It's proof that you've stepped outside the illusion. And once you realize this, the loneliness doesn't feel so heavy. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is lost, and instead as someone who is free. You may not fit into the old world anymore, but that's because you're meant for something bigger. And on the other side of this journey, you'll find something even greater than belonging. You'll find authenticity, purpose, and true inner peace. So, if you feel like an outsider after awakening, don't fight it. Embrace it. Because in the end, you don't belong to the world anymore. You belong to yourself. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content on spiritual awakening, non-duality, and personal transformation. You're not alone on this journey. There's a whole community of awakened souls out there. So, if you've ever felt like an outsider, know that you're exactly where you're meant to be. Drop a comment below and share your experience. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you in the next video.